Jodie.
Hi!
Perfect. Oh, we're killing it.
We're killing it.
No
Oh my
practice
gosh.
even needed.
Okay.
Hi. How are
We're
you
setting this
doing?
up. So where are you in the country right now?
Good question. Right now, coming to you live from Chattanooga. So we're
Oh,
here for the
Chattanooga,
week.
Tennessee.
Exactly.
Hi,
First
everyone.
time. Hi, everybody. We can wait a second to get
Okay.
into it for some people to join. But I'm so happy
I,
to see you. You look so beautiful.
oh, so do you.
Thank you. I'm so glad we got this all worked
I
out.
know. Who knew we're only like 20 something years apart? Hi,
It's
everyone.
exactly. We're doing great. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
So
everyone. We have
thank
28 people on here. Hi, everyone.
incredible. Hi,
Cosette's
guys.
so many years apart. I don't mind saying my age. I'm 53.
Incredible. I was wondering, so what year did you actually play Cosette, I guess, because you did
Yes.
Cosette and Eponine.
We all love Cosette. Celebrate the
We
Cosettes here.
we
I
all
played
love
Cosette
Cosette.
in 1994 in the Broadway company.
Okay, yes. So 1994. So that was like 10-ish years after it opened on Broadway.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right?
So I
Okay.
played it and then on the national tour in 1995.
Right.
Yes, raise your yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
We are raising our yas
Yeah,
here.
raising our yeah, yeah, yeahs. Cosette's even raised their yeah, yeah, yeahs. Hi,
See,
everyone.
exactly.
They're fellow Cosette. Hi, Emily.
Hi, fellow Cosettes.
Tell
Yeah,
us
there's
all where you guys are from.
yeah,
Tell us where you're
please.
from. Always on lives, I like to know where people are from.
I love that.
Yes. So we're talking to Cosette's here. Anybody a fellow Cosette? Hi, Emily. Yes, I was in Les Mis. I know people don't know that.
Yeah, so Jody and I got to meet when we were in West Palm Beach with the show, right? Is that where it
Yes.
was? And you were doing like a student night or something like that,
Yes,
and we
I
we
was
got to
leading.
connect.
So I was leading, hi from London. I was leading
Right.
a student-led performance at the Kravitz Center, and I was just sitting there as like an educator. And I think it was a gentleman from your company was looking at me like,
Yeah,
I
we
was
know
just sitting there
you,
like,
right? Yeah.
and then I was just kind of, you named your kitten Cosette, how cute. And I was just kind of sitting there and he recognized me. And then I said, hi, I'm Jodie Langel. Yes, you know me as the Yaya lady.
Yes.
I played Cosette.
Yes. That's
And
so incredible.
I know, and I actually have some fun folklore here.
Do you? I was
I,
hoping.
I do. I actually have it in the garage and I couldn't like find it, but we didn't have like social media back in the day that we did this show. So like somebody from the stage door in New York sent me like backstage pictures of us.
Oh, cool.
And Delaney, I saw that you shared with some of the fans that Cosette and Eponine are in the
The ensemble at the beginning.
ensemble. Do you want to talk about that a little bit to the fans?
Yes. Yeah, so I just made kind of like my makeup tutorial video from doing that because Cosette, Eponine, Marius, and Andros, and then the Thenardiers are all in at least the first two numbers of the show in the ensemble. So kind of that whole gang of principal characters that you don't see until about an hour into the show. We are all
Yes.
singing in Lovely Ladies. We're all singing in At the End of the Day and all of those things. So that's kind of a fun
Yes.
fact.
So hi everybody. I am the Raise Your Ya 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 lady. Raise your ya ya ya. Hi everyone. But I was in Les Miserables and I do have these lovely pictures of
Oh
me.
my God. Oh, that's incredible. So these are the ensemble
These are the ensemble. This
costumes?
is this is the
Oh,
Broadway production in 1994.
oh,
That's
I
me.
love it.
That's me as a pea picker. Or no,
Yes,
that's
the
at the
pea
end of the
picking.
day, you're another day older.
Yes, the harvest. We're in the harvest at the very beginning
Yes,
too.
we were really mean to each other. You guys were kind of like very nice. We like pushed each other. We
In the
were mean.
peas?
Oh my God, we were so mean. Okay, so can I tell you a funny story?
Please.
You guys were like dun 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 dun, dun at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
We were in sacks and we pushed each other.
What?
Yeah, we were in these burlap sacks, right? And it came up and we are like, at the end of We literally like pushed each other. And we
Oh
had
my
this
God.
game who could push each other the worst.
Well, of course. Well, of
It was
course.
really, really bad. And I
That's
love
so
that
funny.
your pictures are so cute, Delaney. You're so adorable. This is not cute. There's nothing
Okay,
about this.
wait. No, I think that is cute. I
No.
think that's cute. The costumes, yeah, the costumes have gotten cuter, I would say.
Okay, viewers, you've seen Delaney. Do you think this is cute? This is me as Cosette. There's nothing cute about this.
I love it. I
My
think
dad
it's
is
so
texting
cute.
me that he's on the Zoom. Dad, there's
Oh,
nothing cute. My dad saw this like a million times. There's
oh.
Delaney, you're all pretty with your hair. There's nothing. Look at this
They,
wig.
they did you a little dirty with the wig, for sure. The
You
pilgrim outfit,
guys,
somebody said.
look at this
That's
hair.
so
He was
funny.
like, no, we're
No, we're
just
gonna do something else. We're gonna have something special in mind for you. Yeah.
okay. So I just have to show you.
I
Ooh,
love these.
no. This is my okay. So the second act, we were Bullet Boys. Were you Bullet Boys?
No, you were as Cosette, you were? Before you come back out in convalescence?
Oh no, this was my ensemble person.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
yeah, this was when I was a double cover. I was a double cover
Oh, got it.
when I came back to the Broadway company. Okay.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, that's pretty, they're having you do a lot of double duty then.
This was a very famous girl.
Oh,
This was Kelly Rabke, who was the narrator on Broadway.
wow. Oh, that's a great photo.
Yeah.
That's some Broadway history. That's
This is
very
some
cool.
Broadway history. Yeah. So this is
Oh,
this was
oh
us
my
in Lovely
God.
Ladies, which I saw you do Lovely Ladies.
Oh my gosh, so funny. We'll have to do a side by side of me and
So
Maya.
any viewers out there, Lovely Ladies, if you ever do Les Miserables, you're gonna have to do Lovely Ladies.
See, exactly. There you go. And it's honestly the most fun number of the show, so I'm always thrilled to be in Lovely Ladies. I'm
Raise your
rocking
yeah,
it up there.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna raise your yeah, yeah, yeah with some lovely
You
ladies.
gotta raise your yaya with Lovely Ladies.
So
Okay, I have lots of questions for you because I'm
yes.
so interested about your time with the show and seeing the show 20 something years later, I'm sure was pretty crazy. Have you, like, were there any huge changes? Like my Cosette versus your Cosette versus, like, how do you think that the show has kind of evolved over
Well,
the last 20 years?
it's definitely a lot shorter. When I did the show, it was
Ugh, fair.
3.5 hours.
Woo!
So yeah, it was very long.
Yeah, no
I remember,
complaining from us then.
yeah, it was very long. Um, I God, Jesus, it's been so long that when I originally did the show,
Hmm.
um, we when I auditioned, it wasn't to the audience, but then when I came back to the Broadway company in 2004, it was Jason Moore, and he was like, it's directly to the audience now. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
Interesting.
it's what? He was like, so when
Uh-huh.
you're singing like on my own, you're like to the audience. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm what? Because I came back to the
Wow.
Broadway company as Eponine in 2000.
Yes.
And he's like,
Which
no,
is
it's,
also just so impressive that you have the capacity to sing
uh,
both. I have
well,
questions about that too. I'm curious, like the cross training of being able to do both is pretty crazy.
well,
And
yeah. So when I auditioned for the show, and those of you out there, and I talk about this auditioning a lot, you have to be armed to do anything. I
yeah,
actually sang, and then he's like, now can you belt?
that's evil.
I was like,
That's
I'm sorry,
crazy.
what? And then I belted a world that's full of happiness. I did that, but I actually sang
Wow.
story goes on
Okay.
from Baby, which is like a big
Yeah.
belting song.
Mm-hmm.
I like honestly, it was one of those auditions I don't even remember because I was kind of like, what? And
Yeah.
then, this teenage where everybody's like inclusive and everything's great. He literally
Mm-hmm.
looked at me and was like, what's with that hair?
Tough. Tough.
I was like, he's like, can you like hide that? And I went, yeah. And I was so
Yeah, you're like, of
eager.
course,
I was like,
anything.
I can like make myself bald.
I'll cut
Just
it
give
off.
me
Yeah.
the job and I'll do
Exactly.
whatever you need me to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I was a double cover. Now I went
Wow.
on 18 shows because the girl who was playing Cosette, she was really sick. And
Oh.
she was so sick. The other girl, Jessica Snow Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
Broadway Cosette, like amazing. She was like, I'm not, no way, shape, or form am I ever singing Cosette. I belt. She literally belted Cosette. She was
Crazy.
like, "It's not a dream after what?" She was like
Crazy.
crazy. And she was like, I'm not doing this. You're doing it. And I was like,
That's so
okay.
funny.
So I went on 18 shows. Now,
Wow.
the rule is they have to give you the part.
Really? If they left, you got the part?
This is tea, y'all. So they were like,
Interesting.
you're taking over. She left. I took over.
That is, for the viewers, that is not how things work now. It's very much like a whole other audition process. When, when principals leave, the understudies will often
Yeah.
audition, but they
So,
make them go through the whole process again.
yeah. It was not, so she was out 18 shows. They were really lucky because I had the Cosette voice. So I just went on,
Yeah.
went on. And I was like,
Wow.
they're like 18 shows, they have to give you the role. So she came back.
Crazy.
And I was like, I don't want to go back to the ensemble. We have to
Yeah,
get comfortable.
of
So,
course.
so the
And you're
role,
on Broadway, you're living your
yeah.
dreams.
I was
Yeah.
like, ha ha ha. I did not want to go back to that ensemble. I was like, I was so comfortable.
Wow.
And then the roll up and up on tour. So that was boom.
Okay, wow.
So that's how
And
it
then,
happened.
and how long did you tour for with Les
eight
Mis?
months.
8 months.
8 months.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you watching, I have been on the tour for almost 2 years now. So my 2 year mark is coming up at the end of
So
September.
can I ask you, how do you stop the boredom? Because I couldn't take it.
Good question. Very good question. I mean, as you know, like life on tour really does keep you on your toes as far as just like you're in a different city every week and every single theater sounds differently and you're adjusting vocally based on the completely different acoustics in every single space that you're in. So it's very much like it's not something you can just kind of that's going to be the same every single show. It does keep you on your toes. As far as like the show itself, there are obviously days where you're like, thoughts come in where you're thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner after the
Yeah.
show and things like that. That's so normal and natural. But I think like I am so lucky that the people that I am doing the show right now with and the incredible cast like bring such incredible energy and acting choices and it's very the more present I can be with the other people on stage, that is what is
No. Yeah,
grounding, you know?
that's so nice because
Yeah.
when I was on tour, I don't know necessarily, everyone was a little bit older.
Yeah.
There was a sense of like, we're clocking in.
Yep. Yeah, that's very real.
And they've
Mm-hmm.
been out there for so long that they just,
Yeah.
there was a sense of we don't care. And we're like doing this,
Mm-hmm.
it's our job and we don't care.
Yeah,
And not that it permeated around, but it did bring that sense of that energy. Whereas,
definitely.
and then so there was like a young crowd and then an old crowd. And
Mm-hmm.
those two were very like different. It was a
Yeah.
very, so it was two sides. Whereas
Uh-huh.
maybe now it's like there's so few tours out that maybe people are more grateful to be out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing one question from down there that was also a fan question from Instagram earlier this week
Yeah.
that I would love to hear about like your audition process for the show versus my audition process for the show because I would assume it was Cameron McIntosh that signed off on you just the same way he signed
No,
off on me, right? No? Oh, okay.
no,
Okay.
it was I did audition for Cameron, but it was a different show. It
Oh,
was
interesting.
for Pats. So this was a gentleman named Richard J. Alexander. It was the artistic direct. He was like ran the companies,
Hmm.
and it was you went in for Tara Rubin, Richard J. With Tara
Yep.
Rubin, always.
Oh
But it
yeah,
was
Tara Rubin's still doing
yeah,
it. Hmm.
Tara Rubin, Richard J. Alexander, the heads of, the company. It was very quick.
Yeah,
Um, it was just you walked in, you had your song, which was always my booking song, which was Story Goes On. I
of
always sang
course.
that song.
Yeah,
And then I had my song from the show, and then the two songs from the show when I had Heart Full of Love and On My Own, because I was going in for the
interesting.
double cover.
Yeah, wow. Which is so crazy and no longer exists, actually. So you might be one of a very small group of people that actually did that ever.
Yeah, it was the double cover. So it was like Eponine and Cosette. those
which is
two.
crazy. Yeah,
It's so crazy, right? I'm
that's so
not seeing,
crazy.
how do I not see these comments? I'm not seeing the comments come in.
If you click that little comment button, you should be able to see. Can you see like
Comments.
people joining and everything on there?
No, that's okay. The last
Oh,
time
okay.
I saw was same, and then I'm not seeing them. That's okay. You're seeing
Okay.
them, so you can see them.
Yeah, I'll see him. I'll keep
Yeah,
track.
I went in for a double cover, and I think that because I've always been great with like audition material and things
Mhm.
like that, so I've always just kind of like known. But that's just I was tunnel vision Les
Yeah.
Mis. I was
Do
tunnel
you?
vision. I wanted Les Mis.
Oh my God.
And
I mean, same. Totally.
yeah,
It's an institution, and I think that like so many people know it, that it is such a like, you know, green check on your
it
resume
is.
to be
That's
able
why
to
when
do that.
people come in to audition for me, and then I did their next show,
Yeah.
which was Martin Guerre. So it's like
Yes.
I kind of knew for that, and that I was on tour with Cats when that was happening.
Okay. Right.
So I was like, I kind of knew. I was like, I know what to sing for this. I know what
Yeah.
to do with this. And
Interesting. Do you remember how many times you went in before you got the call
for Les Mis,
for Les
or
Mis specifically?
one, it was one.
Just one? Okay.
I
Ours are very
know
different then.
that's so messed up.
It's so
And
crazy.
let me tell you,
Wow.
Delaney, other shows, like I went in for Pirate Queen
Yeah.
and I did not get it. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, I cried. I probably didn't leave my bed for a week. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not going to be here saying to you guys that my life is like so wonderful and I've booked every show,
Of
because I
course.
have had my share of unbelievable heartache, and Pirate Queen was one of them,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
did Liz with them and I did Martin Guerre with them. And I
Wow.
thought for sure I was going to get,
Shoo-in. Yeah.
I didn't happen.
Wow. Yeah.
So
And that
that,
is, I mean, that's such a factor of doing this professionally, is like being okay with the rejection, and obviously not to say that it's not going to hurt, you know. I get heartbroken when I don't get things, and then but it's about like being able to come out of that and put yourself out there
yeah.
again
And I think this is a
to do it.
lesson for us to remind ourselves and for the
Mhm.
viewers. I
Yeah.
will tell you this. I just sat with the Jimmy kids.
Oh yeah.
And I will tell you this. It became about a TED talk about social media.
Interesting.
And then it became like a life lesson,
Hmm.
truly, of like, you have to believe in yourself 100% to be in this business.
You do.
And if you don't, then you need to get out, because it is truly believing in yourself to the most you can possibly be. Even right now, somebody asked me about like negative comments, and I get them
Hmm.
all the time.
All the
And it's
time. Yeah.
all the time. And it's sort of like that belief in yourself of like, what makes you get up in the morning? Like, what
Yeah.
makes you get up in the morning, Delaney? Like, what makes you get up in the morning is the same thing of like that rejection I got. And like, just what makes you believe in yourself? And for me, it was
Hmm.
my teacher at NYU who was like,
Wow.
do you, and my teacher at NYU told me I would never make it on Broadway.
Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
And I was the first person to, because I
Hmm.
believed in myself so much
Yeah.
that I said to myself, I can do this.
Yeah. Well,
And
interesting.
there you
Yeah,
go.
the like my kind of crazy story with that is, I mean, the reason for that I think my confidence came from is my parents. I was so lucky to grow up with such supportive parents. Like basically from the time I was in fifth grade, I was telling them that I was going to go out of state for college and I was going to be on Broadway. You know, that was like my spiel.
Yeah.
And they never doubted me for a second. And they were always believed in me and believed in my drive and my talent. And actually, this is like a real life lesson. It was like Christmas time of 2022, I guess. And I hadn't booked Les Mis. I had been out of school for 2 years, graduated straight into the pandemic, and there was no work anywhere. And I was so down bad, thinking I'm never gonna get something. And maybe I missed the time that I was supposed to be doing this, or, I was so down about myself. And I remember telling my dad, actually, if I'm having the same conversation with you a year from now, I think that I need to figure something else out and like try something different. And he told me, you're not gonna do that. Like you're too good. You know that you have this. You know that you can do this. It's just one you just need one yes, you know?
Right.
There's so many no's, and it just takes one yes to change your entire life. And then later that summer, I was in for Les Mis. I went in 6 or 7 times.
6 times.
I flew to New York, and then they ended up flying me to New York a few times for it because I'm based in LA at the time, and so it was a whole thing. And then I found out I got the tour, and 6 days later went on tour, and have been there ever since. So it really, but it was like I couldn't. It was just about waiting for that one yes, and that's
Right.
all it took to really change your entire life.
And sitting down with so many talented people, like I sat across from Annalie Ashford, who
Yeah,
I've who I've had for many a master class, who
yeah,
says, I've gotten 20 rejections before I get a yes.
yeah.
And that's that kind of stuff sticks with me of just, not that I audition really anymore, but just like even just like the negative comments of what people say about me that's so untrue
Absolutely.
online, and they just don't know me, or they've caught me at a bad moment, or they're just saying falsehoods, and it's the belief in myself to know that that's not true, that that's not true what's ultimately about me, and the belief in yourself.
And the knowing yourself, the knowing your truth. Yeah,
Knowing your truth and always having that belief in yourself, no matter what
yeah,
a casting director says about you, and not relying on other people to give you the yes,
yeah,
but to believe in yourself. And that's what I
yeah.
want to tell other people, is just always having that belief in yourself, whether it
I love
comes
that.
from taking a yoga class and sitting back and just breathing and appreciating, or
Yeah.
whatever it is that finds you that center. You've got to have it. Otherwise, you're
Yes.
relying on other people to give you the yes. And it's just crap.
That's such great advice. It's so true.
You have to every day, because you're going
Hmm.
to get this. Business is not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, and even further with that too, it's like, I've done 550 something performances now as Cosette, and not every single one is my dream
Oh yeah,
goes the
yeah, okay.
perfect way.
Well,
And I think
yes, those are my
that's,
notes.
yeah, like that it's so important that like not every single time you open your mouth is it going to be exactly how you wish you always sounded.
No.
And it's about similarly to what we were just saying, like the belief in yourself and the knowing that you are not defined by one note that came out a little weird because you had cheese when you shouldn't have before the show or something. Like it's about kind of like having this self-awareness and this self-love throughout all of it that really is like kind of the only way to go forward in this industry, really.
And always like redefining, always learning about yourself and picking up a new skill, picking up a new craft. I was always on the
Mm.
the the search for um teaching. I knew I was like,
Yeah,
I don't ever just want to be an actor.
right.
I always knew that.
Yeah.
So like, you're always learning, you're always growing, you're always finding new things about yourself. And
Hmm.
um
So from your teaching world, what are like your best audition tips? Because that was one question we got earlier. What are like,
yeah,
you know, your kind of
um
go-to audition tips?
breathing. The breathing,
Real.
the breathing. Also, I always say like, don't I'm like not I'm not very nice when I go to an audition. I'm
Hmm.
not like, oh my God, Delaney, hi, how are you?
Right. It,
I'm very
outside
much
in the waiting room. Yeah.
do your own thing. I bring my straw.
Yep. Oh
I
yeah.
use breathing tips outside the room. I'm not chatty.
Hmm.
It's not about, you have to center yourself, you have to be in your zone.
Yeah.
It's not about catching up with friends.
Yeah.
It's a business. You need to treat it like a business. It's not social hour. It's about
Absolutely.
breathing, centering, doing your thing
Hmm.
outside. Get in your zone, look at
Yeah.
your sides, take your notes, be in your zone. Not
Hmm.
social hour. It's not
Mm.
not social hour.
Yeah.
Text them after, do your shit after. It's time to
Definitely.
do your thing.
Yeah.
It's book that job. It's not social
Yeah.
hour. That's
That's
a
great
big
advice.
tip. And then
Hmm.
when you're walking in to do that, do your breaths then, because you're going to be so much more on your breath when you take that awful walk to the center. But
Right.
as you're walking in to give your music, that's the time you're like,
Interesting. That's great advice.
Then you're on your breath.
Yeah. Oh, that's smart. See, this is what I'm looking for, these tips. These Broadway baby tips.
Because what happens is then when you're on your set and you're like, hi, I'm Jodie, then you're already breathing.
Yeah.
So
And you're
then,
centered for your acting, you're
yes.
present. Yeah.
Also, can we skip the nod, please? I fucking hate the nod. Sorry, we don't
No,
need
you
the
can swear.
nod.
I don't care.
What is the nod? It's awful. It's
That
like,
for those who don't know that,
okay,
explain what you're talking about.
okay, should we not do this?
Right.
We
To the
just.
pianist. Yeah, to the
It's so
accompanist.
formal and weird. Okay.
Yes.
Can we just be like, okay, so we just put our head down, right? And then we just start, we tell the accompanist, I'm just gonna lift my, so we to go over there and we say, I'm just gonna
Yep.
lift up my head when I start. I'm just gonna lift my
Love
head.
that.
That way he knows and
Yep.
there's no weirdness. And we just
Yes.
go, and we
Love
say,
that. Oh, I love that. I've
why
never
do
done
we,
that before. That's
why do we have to
great.
do a nod? It's
Yeah,
so
you're right.
awful.
Oh, that's
So
a
you
great.
go over to the accompanist and you just go, hey, hi, Andrew. Hey, how are you? So I'm gonna start here, and then I'm just gonna lift my head up when I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh,
Boom.
that's so good.
Then he knows it's no big weird like when is she gonna start, and then we
Right.
just go, we're
Oh,
ready.
I love that. That's so good. And it doesn't take you out of it. It doesn't take the team out of it looking at you
No,
that immediately thinks, oh, she's an actor. Or, it just, you
no.
are the
Then
character. You
he
are the
knows
role.
because half the time he doesn't know when you're starting because you're doing 17 million things, and he's like,
Totally.
is that what? Uh,
Real.
we don't get the weird nod, so we're all ready.
Real. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. That's a great tip. My go-to tip for auditions always is just like I have never felt bad about an audition that I was the utmost prepared for.
Right.
Like the best thing that you can do to give yourself confidence in the room is knowing the material you're doing like the back of your hand. Because
Exactly.
then you are free of, the restraints of having to look down at your paper or being worried about what line is next or being worried about what, note comes next or what's in the
Exactly.
song. And so it gives you the freedom to actually be present, to actually act through the song, which is what they're looking for anyways, because anybody can, sing notes off a page. Anybody can
That's it.
memorize a script, but it's about what you bring to it in the moment. And the only way to bring something to it at all is if you are on your breath and if you are present and if you are like completely prepared.
Exactly.
So that's always mine. Okay, what else do I have for you? I have so many little
And I
questions.
think I don't know why these are not coming up, but I can't see how many people are on this right now.
Um 19 currently.
Okay.
Um we what else? One question, are you guys ever not able to fit the full set backstage? Do you guys ever have to perform without certain pieces of the set?
I would
Um,
imagine, yes.
no, but it is, I mean, it is a massive set. And so
Yes.
one,
Very hard.
often, yeah, exactly. Often in smaller theaters, we have to fly gigantic set pieces backstage. So sometimes like the huge gate unit, for Rue Plumet and for Heartful of Love and In My Life is flown. So during the show, they put straps and hooks on it and they fly it up into the air backstage. So there you look up and there's these gigantic set pieces floating above your head. So that's when we pray, and we are so grateful to our amazing crew that does that correctly, that keeps everybody safe. So they can like you use the airspace basically to make a show fit, which is pretty crazy.
Crazy. Now, the difference is we had a turntable, so the turntable turned.
Right, right.
So we had a
Yes, crazy.
moving turntable the entire show.
Yeah, when traveled that too, which is
We traveled it.
crazy.
And
Yeah,
sometimes that wouldn't turn.
of course. Yeah, of course.
So there was
Yeah,
that.
interesting. Okay,
Only
somebody
one.
else said, what advice would you give to someone just starting out in the role of Cosette?
Oh. Don't play her like a victim.
Hmm.
She's strong. Seemingly, she's strong.
Yes. Oh, yeah. She's been through so much since a very young age. She's tough. She comes from, her mom is one of the toughest characters in the entire show. So
Mhm.
that's her lineage. She comes from she was raised by Jean Valjean, who's a tough cookie. She was born from Fantine, tough cookie. So like she's not some little princess in a tower.
No.
And I think that's like a mistake that a lot of people fall into is that's the archetype. You know, when you see a girl run in with a beautiful dress on and singing really high, that's where your mind goes. But if you fall into that, you're just going to give kind of a one-sided performance of it.
Yes. Think
What
about her
about,
as a strong character.
yes. What about vocally? If you were going to prepare for Cosette, you know,
Um,
now, how would you tell someone to prepare for that?
I think a lot of people mistake the voice type as head voice, which it is head voice, but a lot of her stuff is in mix.
Definitely.
So I think people put a lot of air on it, and it shouldn't have
Hmm.
a lot of it. It's in a small mouth mix position. So if you think beep 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 beep, you can do some of that stuff on a BBB position to really
Yeah.
get that mix space. It's not as head voicey as you think it is.
Mm.
So people associate Cosette and they think head voice, so they start to sing in a light way and
Yeah.
apply a lot of air onto it. And
Interesting.
it's not so much that, it's more in a mixed small space.
Hmm. Okay, then somebody chimed in with, what about Eponine vocally? How would you coach someone through the beginnings of creating Eponine?
Um, Same thing. It's not, it's definitely also in a mixed space. The minute we start to
Hmm.
bring weight to Eponine and we start to heavy the sound,
Hmm.
it's gonna sound too heavy and too weighted. So we want to think like we want to siren a little bit. Yay!
Hmm.
So the beginning, and now I'm all alone again, has that
Yeah.
nice pingy sound.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
We don't want
I
to get
think,
too weighted with eponine. It's going to sound heavy,
right.
not a sound that we like.
Well, and keeping it in the mix for both of those characters too keeps the youthfulness for sure, which
Yes.
is like a very big thing for most productions
Yeah.
of Les
Right.
Mis. You know, those characters, I think Cosette is supposed to be 15 years old or something, and
Yeah.
Eponine the same thing. So they're not, you know, Cosette is not like a trained operatic
No,
soprano.
it's not pristine in Phantom of the Opera. So we
Yes,
want to think
exactly.
more youthful, more mixy, and keep it in a forward mixy space.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Um, somebody earlier this week said, how do you personally navigate the belting versus classical world? Do they really contradict or can they coexist? And how do you move between the two? Which actually, I'm
That's you.
selfishly interested in what you have to say about it, though.
Me?
Um,
Okay.
I mean, as someone um, I actually am leaving the tour in September. It'll be my last city. I'm very excited to be living a normal life again and not be on tour. So that's exciting. This chapter is kind of coming to an end, but I can see the I've been singing in this very specific part of my voice now for 2 years straight, and I have noticed like whenever I try to belt for an audition, it's like it comes very unnaturally in this current moment. So I need to
Yeah.
start doing some cross training to get my voice back to, the like princess belt thing that I can also do. So I'm interested in, yeah, in like how you kind of coach people through working both and being able to do both. I mean, like the key example of that is you being able to sing Eponine or Cosette at the drop of a hat when someone
That was
calls out.
hard because like I would do a matinee as Cosette, and then I'd do
Yes,
an
that's
evening.
insane.
It was crazy. I would do
That's
an evening
crazy.
show as Eponine, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Um, I would say that I was in my 20s. If you asked me to do that now at 53, I'd be like, are you mad?
So fair.
Are you mad? But
Yeah.
so wait, the question was, how do you navigate between those two voices?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Belting versus classical world is what the.
honestly, straw phonation has honestly like saved me.
Oh,
So
same.
honestly, yeah, I saw you like playing around with the straw. A
Yeah.
lot of this stuff is straw phonation, and I will say to you that like a lot of my warm-ups are on YouTube. I would like to the viewers like play around with that, but it's a
Love
lot
that.
of just like spatial space and hanging and SOVT exercises are
Hmm.
great for that. But it's a lot of just mouth position too, right? Because if we're like,
Yes.
in my life, that's all there. But we're like, hey, it's just like all about navigating those spaces and figuring that out.
That's good. I love thinking about it in the like spatial relationship way
Mhm.
versus I think a lot of people hear classical or they hear a belting song and they're like, I need to just belt this or I need to just, act classically. And I think that people often mistake belting and or classical singing as like a stylistic thing that they just
Yeah.
need to project onto it or put their voice in a certain,
Just
try
like
to
a
force
healthy
it.
mix. It's like a
Yeah,
healthy mix, but Eponine always sounds the best when it's in that
that's
mixy
true.
space. I
Yeah.
mean, and I loved your Fontaine. I was obsessed with her.
Oh yeah, she's incredible.
She was
Did
great.
you
And
see did you see Lindsay Heather Pierce? Is that who you saw that night?
I think I saw the understudy. I feel
Oh,
like
did
I
you? Maybe it was Julia Redden, I think maybe was on that night. Yeah, she's incredible. Has an incredible voice.
it was
Can just
great.
wail. Yeah.
Because when the days of mine, it was very like heavy belting. It was more of a we had like the belters, which
Yeah.
I'm more geared towards like the mixers, the
Me too.
Fontaines. I cannot die. I like
Mm.
the mixers.
Yeah.
Now that I've gotten older and more protective of my instrument, I like the
Mm.
mixers, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
the way
real.
I coach
Well,
girls.
and I mean, doing 8 shows a week, you can't be screaming every single night. You have to find a healthy place where it's reasonable to do 8 shows a week and not hurt yourself. That's
Yeah.
a really important part of being on tour or just doing any show 8 times a week. It's so much about stamina,
Yes.
you
And the
know?
way they're writing these shows now is crazy.
Crazy.
These shows are
Crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I just saw Just in Time with my
Hmm.
buddy Erica,
Yes.
who's like doing vocal acrobatics. They're all
Yes.
doing crazy things. These shows
Hmm.
are really hard, and you have to navigate your way through these shows. And you really have to know how to mix,
Yeah.
how to do this healthily 8 times a week. So,
Yes.
anytime you can get any kind of straw phonation or figure out how to do it healthily, is you need to run and find a technique that works for you. Well,
I love that. That's so interesting. I love everything kind of coming from this mixy place because then you can throw in a note that's belted, you can throw in a note that's in
yeah.
your head voice, but coming from that middle ground, you have so
Hmm.
much more vocal agility because, you're not so far in one direction that you can never come back from it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
it's really true. And I just tell all the singers, find a technique that works for you. Find
Yes.
something that you like, that aligns with you, that you enjoy, and then just stick to that.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. Well, I have to run to the show
You
pretty
go do
soon,
your show.
actually. But thank you so much for doing
Thank
this.
you.
I'm so happy we got to talk and it was such a pleasure meeting you and I was
Such
just
a pleasure
like
to meet
I
you.
was so excited about to talk to you
Your
about Cosette.
Cosette is just so beautiful, and
Oh,
I
thank you.
loved watching you. It was
Thank you
just
so
a
much.
joy.
Well, that means the most coming from you. So I really, really
Oh,
appreciate it. And
thank
just thank you
you.
all for joining us
Thank you
and
so
we'll
much,
see you
everyone.
soon. Bye, guys.